Good evening and welcome back to the channel. I greatly appreciate you signing back in today, where we're currently in the book of Job. So we're going to begin on chapter 10 in just a moment, but our prayer. Father, as I read and receive your word, may it deeply be rooted in me, so when difficulty comes, it will be your word that encourages and strengthens me. Amen. So as I mentioned, we're in chapter 10 right now. Job frames his plea to God. I am disgusted with my life. Let me complain freely. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will say to God, don't simply condemn me. Tell me the charge you are bringing against me. What do you gain by oppressing me? Why do you reject me, the work of your own hands, while sending joy and prosperity to the wicked? Are your eyes only on those of a human? Do you see things as people see them? Is your lifetime merely human? Is your life so short that you are in a hurry to probe for my guilt, to search for my sin? Although you know I am not guilty, no one can rescue me from your power. You formed me with your hands, you made me, and yet you completely destroy me. Remember that I am made of dust. Will you turn me back to dust soon? You guided my conception and formed me in the womb. You clothed me with skin and flesh, and you knit my bones and sinews together. You gave me life and showed me your unfailing love. My life was preserved by your care. Yet your real motive, I know this was your intent, was to watch me, and if I sinned, you would not forgive my iniquity. If I'm guilty, too bad for me, and even if I'm innocent, I'm filled with shame and misery, so I can't hold my head high. And if I hold my head high, you hunt me like a lion and display your awesome power against me. Again and again you witness against me. You pour out an ever-increasing volume of anger upon me and bring fresh armies against me. Why, then, did you bring me out of my mother's womb? Why didn't you let me die at birth? Then I would have been spared this miserable existence. I would have gone directly from the womb to the grave. I have only a little time left, so leave me alone, and that I may have a little moment of comfort, before I leave for the land of darkness and utter gloom, never to return. It is a land as dark as midnight, a land of utter gloom where confusion reigns and the light is as dark as midnight. Chapter 11. Zophar's first response to Job. Then Zophar, the Naamathite, replied to Job, shouldn't someone answer this torrent of words? Is a person proved innocent just by asking a lot? Should I remain silent while you babble on? When you mock God, shouldn't someone make you ashamed? You claim my teaching is pure, and I am clean in the sight of God. If only God would speak, if only he would tell you what he thinks. If only he would tell you the secrets of wisdom, for true wisdom is not a simple matter. Listen, God is doubtless punishing you far less than you deserve. Can you solve the mysteries of God? Can you discover everything there is to know about the Almighty? Such knowledge is higher than the heavens, but who are you? Is it deeper than the underworld? What can you know in comparison to him? It is broader than the earth and wider than the sea. If God comes along and puts a person in prison, or if he calls a court to order, who is going to stop him? For he knows those who are false, and he takes note of all their sins. An empty-handed person won't become wise any more than a wild donkey can bear human offspring. If only you would prepare your heart and lift up your hands to him in prayer. Get rid of your sins and leave all iniquity behind you. Then your face will brighten in innocence. You will be strong and free of fear. You will forget your misery. It will all be gone like water under the bridge. Your life will be brighter than the noonday. Any darkness will be as bright as morning. You will have courage because you will have hope. You will be protected and you will rest in safety. You will lie down unafraid and many will look to you for help. But the wicked will lose hope. They have no escape. Their hope becomes despair. Chapter 12. Job's fourth speech, a response to Zophar. Then Job spoke again. You really know everything, don't you? And when you die, wisdom will die with you. Well, I know a few things myself, and you're no better than I am. Who doesn't know these things you've been saying? Yet my friends laugh at me. I am a man who calls on God and receives an answer. I am just as blameless a man, yet they laugh at me. People who are at ease mock those in trouble. They give a push to people who are stumbling. But even robbers are left in peace. And those who provoke God, and God has them in his power, live on safely. Ask the animals, and they will teach you. Ask the birds of the sky, and they will tell you. Speak to the earth, and it will instruct you. Let the fish of the sea speak to you. They all know that the Lord has done this. For the life of every living thing is in his hand, and the breath of all humanity, just as the mouth tastes good food, so the ear tastes the word it hears. Wisdom belongs to the aged, and understanding to those who have lived many years. But true wisdom and power are with God. Counsel and understanding are his. What he destroys cannot be rebuilt. Then he closes it on someone. There is no escape. If he holds back the rain, the earth becomes a desert, and if he releases the waters, they flood the earth. Yes, strength and wisdom are with him. Deceivers and deceived are both in his power. He leads counselors away stripped of good judgment. He drives judges to madness. He removes the royal robe of kings. With ropes around their waists, they are led away. He leads priests away stripped of status. He overthrows the mighty. He silences the trusted advisor, and he removes the insight of the elders. He pours disgrace upon princes and confiscates weapons from the strong. He floods the darkness with light. He brings light to the deepest gloom. He rises up nations, and he destroys them. He makes nations expand, and he abandons them. He takes away the understanding of kings, and he leaves them wandering in a wasteland without a path. They grope in the darkness without a light. He makes them stagger like drunkards. Chapter 13. Job wants to argue his case with God. Excuse me. Lord, I have seen many instances such as you describe. I understand what you are saying. I know as much as you do. You are no better than I am. Oh, how I long to speak directly to the Almighty. I want to argue my case with God himself. For you are smearing me with lies. As doctors, you are worthless quacks. Please be quiet. That's the smartest thing you could do. Listen to my charge. Pay attention to my arguments. Are you defending God by means of lies and dishonest arguments? You should be impartial witnesses. But will you slant your testimony in his favor? Will you argue God's case for him? Be careful that he doesn't find out that you are doing, or do you think that you can fool him as easily as you fool people? No, you will be in serious trouble with him, even if in your hearts you slant your testimony in his favor. Doesn't his majesty strike fear and terror in your heart? Does not your fear of him seize you? Your statements have about as much value as ashes. Your defense is as fragile as a clay pot. Excuse me. Be silent now and leave me alone. Let me speak, and I will face the consequences. Yes, I will take my life in my hands and say what I really think. God might kill me, but I cannot wait. I am going to argue my case with him. But this is what will save me, that I am not godless. If I were, I would be thrown from his presence. Listen closely to what I am about to say. Hear me out. I have prepared my case. I will be proved innocent. Who can argue with me over this? If you could prove me wrong, I will remain silent until I die. Job asks how he has sinned. O God, there are two things I beg of you, and I will be able to face you. Remove your hand from me and don't terrify me with your awesome presence. Now summon me and I will answer, or let me speak to you and you reply. Tell me what I have done wrong. Show me my rebellion and my sin. Why do you turn away from me? Why do you consider me your enemy? Would you terrify a leaf that is blown by the wind? Would you chase a dry stalk of grass? You write bitter accusations against me and bring up all the sins of my youth. You put my feet in socks. You watch all my paths. You trace all my footprints. I waste away like rotting wood, like a moth-eaten coat. How frail is humanity, how short is life. How full of trouble, like a flower we blossom for a moment and then wither. Like the shadow of a passing cloud, we quickly disappear. Must you keep an eye on such a fragile creature and demand an accounting from me? Who can create purity in one born impure? No one. You have decided the length of our lives. You know how many months we live, and we are not given a minute longer. So give us a little rest, won't you? Turn away your angry stare. We are like hired hands, so let us finish the task you have given us. If a tree is cut down, there is hope that it will sprout again and grow new branches, though its roots have grown old in the earth and its stump decays. At the scent of water it may bud and sprout again like a new seedling. But when people die, they lose all strength. They breathe their last, and then where are they? As water evaporates from a lake, and as a river disappears in drought, people lie down and do not rise again. Until the heavens are no more, they will not wake up, nor be roused from their sleep. I wish you would hide me with the dead and forget me there until your anger has passed. But mark your calendar to think of me again. If mortals die, can they live again? This thought would give me hope, and through my struggle, I would eagerly wait for your release. You would call and I would answer, and you would yearn for me, your handiwork. For then you would count my steps, instead of watching for my sins. My sins would be sealed in a pouch, and you would cover my iniquity. But as mountains fall and crumble, and as rocks fall from a cliff, as water wears away with stones and floods wash away the soil, so you destroy people's hope. You will always overpower them, and then they pass from the scene. You disfigure them in death and send them away. They never know if their sons grow up in honor or sink into insignificance. They are absorbed in their own pain and grief. Well, thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate you signing in either for the first time or coming back again to listen. We will continue in the book of Job tomorrow, starting with chapter 15. I hope you have a great day and a blessed day. Bye.